All right, so you've received your June art box from WaterCrow Studio. Let's see what's in it. Open it up and look for some tools. Every month they'll be different. This month we've got some ink drawing tools. There's a welcome note, a brochure, there's an art pad of paper and some other paper as well for the projects. There's also this information sheet with some of the projects you can do and a page of worksheet practice material. And that's what we're going to take a look at today. Hopefully this will be the info you need to get started with your art box. So we'll put that out of the way. This month is all about creativity and getting in touch with your creative brain, letting loose with patterns and designs. So here's the worksheet ready to go. I've copied it onto my Fabriano paper. There's types of shading and types of patterning. This box is about working with ink. So we've got Pigma Microns, pencils, a Tombow marker, and a gold jelly roll pen. What we're going to start with is practicing some shading techniques using the Pigma Micron 08, which is a really nice archival ink pen. It's waterproof and makes crisp lines, so you can combine it with water-based markers like Tombows or with watercolor paint without the colors mixing. With ink shading, you can't change the value of your ink, so you have to change the way you create your lines to create different values, and you want to practice consistency with your lines. We're going to start with hatching and cross-hatching to begin. With hatching, you put your lines down on the page as evenly and neatly and uniformly as possible. Cross-hatching is the same. Just double your lines up, creating crosses or hatches. Scribbling is another technique you can use. It's more of a uniform doodle, and you can choose how to do it. I tend to do it with sort of a loopy line. Some people are more jaggedy. You just want uniformity, so it's all the same value overall in that area. Stippling is using dots. So you work on uniformity again. Unless you're shading from light to dark, you want to keep your dots pretty even, but you can do shading with all of these techniques. So to practice hatching from light to dark, start with your lines spread evenly apart and bring them closer together until they're basically touching and it's nice and dark. Cross hatching is the same thing. Start out far apart and get them closer together as you go. And then angled the same way. You could fill in circles and shapes, spheres, cubes, faces, landscapes, whatever you want, using this kind of shading technique. With scribbling, start out loose, then bring the lines closer together until it's all about evenly black or dark. And with stippling, it's the same thing. You're just bringing the dots closer together. The nice thing with stippling is, even though it looks like a lot of work, you have a lot of control. You can go back in and make it darker as you go. It's a good idea to practice these techniques, see which ones you're comfortable with. Just try them out, get used to the Micron pen at the same time. With the Micron pen, the ink flows freely, so you don't need to push the pen down on the page, and the ink will just come out on its own when it touches the paper, and you don't want to damage the tips of the pens. So those are the 4 techniques you can try. With types of patterns, this section is really up to you. There are some patterns suggested on the worksheet. You can simply go in nice and easy and do a V pattern, or you can do curves. It's really whatever you like. The idea is to fill in a whole shape with a pattern. You can try doing loops or squares, circles, flowers, stars, but just start out simple and see what you come up with. You might do some loops like these. You might think, well, those look kind of simple. I'm going to go back in and add some dots to make it more interesting, but you could do flowers or stripes. Whatever design you really like. Maybe you're into mandalas or flowers. You can create a flower pattern or a paisley pattern. It's just an idea to practice, to come up with ideas. You can save them on the worksheet or in your notebook and use them later when you're doing a full design. So that's the idea with this practice page. After you've gotten comfortable with these, you can go on to try the template. You're going to trace the template into your Fabriano notebook, and then we're going to go on and to fill it in with a variety of designs and shading techniques. This is the template in my book. I've also included examples of my own on the worksheet. Everything from a more realistic crosshatch and stippling design like this one to a more patterned style. So in my book, I've got a patterned toadstool and snail design. And once the ink is down on the page, you can go back in and add color with the Tombow and the gold gel pen. You can make the different areas highlight or really pop and shine. Other patterns can be done as well. You're definitely encouraged to make up your own patterns. This is a floral design I did. And there's one with some lettering. You can try calligraphy with the Pigma Graphic 2, which is great for those nice angled curvy lines. And you can also try doing these sorts of designs and patterns on the Stonehenge craft paper, which gives it a different look. Here's a design I created using patterning with the same tools that are in the box. There's more info on the worksheet as well about using the Tombow and the gold pen. Okay, so back to the template. The idea is to fill in the entire area of all the little areas on the page with whatever style you choose. So you might try it with the Pigma Graphic 2 chisel pen, which has a wide edge as well as a narrow edge, so it's great for doing those elegant wavy lines. I'm going to try one area with a wavy line. Once you fill in an area, you can go back over the lines just to thicken them up and clean them up a little bit. The Pigma 08 is great for that. I can just go along the stem there and tidy up those lines. You could also do some of the shading techniques. So you can go along the stem of the toadstool with hatching and cross hatching to try to make it look more 3D or give it more of a realistic look. You can mix and match. Sometimes if you aren't sure what kind of design to do, you can go in with pencil first and just try out a technique and see if you like it, and then go back over it with the Pigma. Just take your time, enjoy the creativity of it all, just vibe and pattern. Once you've got your ink design down, you can go back in with the Tombow marker and add some color. If you did use pencil as part of your initial sketch, you'll want to erase those lines, otherwise they'll be permanent under the ink. So I'll go in with a Tombow and add it to my pattern. You can fill in areas with color, or you can use them to highlight areas. Or you can use them as part of your pattern as well. So with a gold pen, I can add pattern. It's totally up to you. And as you can imagine, it would take a while to fill up the entire design. I just take my time with it, have fun with it, and I hope you will too. And I'd love to see some of the designs that you come up with. Hopefully you enjoy this anyway. Every month we'll be creating different ideas, and I hope you enjoy the journey. Bye for now.